Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning for its first showing at 7 a.m. And that's on the local cables stations throughout Acadiana, and of course on your internet, right, Chief?
On the internet.
And the Bobby Dupre Show is nothing but good news. We attempt to never, and so far we have never, got into controversies about controversial matters occurring in the community or whatever. Just to be the bon nouvelle, as Bobby Dardo with the Bon
right.
Nouvelle in Ville Platte says. And Bobby, I just have a lot of respect for you and the writings that you give us every month. You send us a nice little brochure, little pamphlet, little magazine. Let me get it straight. And you go way back in the history, and I don't know where you get all your material, but I know in Plaisance, which we frequented, that was where the Plaisance people dealt, was in the Ville Platte area, but the cameras must have never arrived in Plaisance, because I didn't see many pictures of the old times like you pick up in your community over in Evangeline Parish. But anyhow,
Bobby does a great job
for
with
$20 a year, you can get 12 editions of the Bon Nouvelle, and I think it's 4 editions of the Wagon Tracks.
Wagon Track. Is it Buggy Tracks or Wagon Tracks?
Maybe Buggy Tracks, I guess it is. And all for $20 mailed to your house. So if you just like history and you know somebody in Evangeline Parish, or you want to meet some people in Evangeline Parish, you can read and find out who the movers and the shakers, and they go back in time. I know this edition here had a lot of people my age in the 70s. Very interesting. Anyhow, and then of course he takes that group picture, and that's coming up in May over at Dr. John Saunders' home in Ville Platte, and that's the old-timers gathering that takes place annually, and Bobby does a great job. And I bought one of the full-size pictures, about this wide. It takes that much space, and a lot of people, and he takes it in different shots, and you can't tell when he puts it together. Bobby, you something else. You ought to be in Hollywood, but you making Hollywood. You bring Hollywood to us through your little monthly magazine.
I thought about him on Sunday. I rode right past his shop in Ville Platte, and I thought about Bobby.
Yep. Okay, we spent some time there, but you know, that's what good news. Good news, and I like to help people like that. That is devoting his life. And in fact, I need to bring him a little picture that I have of Mama and Daddy, and Daddy's holding me as a baby, and Cody and John, and that's the only picture I have of our family, all of us, and the kind of light on one end of it, and he can reconstruct that and make it. That's another that I need to promote for him, and that's the reconstruction of pictures. If you have something that looks like a picture, if you can describe him or have another picture of that person or persons, he can really do a good job on that. I've seen some of the, you can't tell that it's not an original.
Does wonderful work.
Okay, you need to get a couple of our sponsors. We gave him sponsorship for free today.
There you go. Let's talk about Quarters Casino. Buddies over there at Quarter Casino on the north side of Opelousas. See them for that good Chevron gas. Hunt Brothers Pizza, they have that there. You ever picked up those pizzas, those Hunt Brothers pizzas? Those are really good. Those are really good.
Well, they make enough of them. They finally got good. I mean, if they didn't start that way, they hit and miss with
Personally, I rather those than the pizzas you can get at the other. I won't say any names, but at the other place. I like the Hunt Brothers Pizza. You can get it right there at Quarters Casino. Also,
and they're our sponsors, so that makes it taste better.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're feeling if you're feeling like a little Mexican instead, though, try El Pico de Gallo Mexican Restaurant. Authentic Mexican food on site at Quarters Casino and Travel Plaza. Visit them online at quarterscasino.com. And we've got our good friends over at St. Landry Homestead. I see you're in your you're a vet today. And,
yeah, boy, and Kip Bertrand, we
wanted
always
that.
mention he
Yeah.
wanted that bad.
He
and,
wanted that car.
I loaned it to him for a weekend, and the only problem, I mean, the biggest problem, he and the wife would have been fine, but then where would the two kids get?
I had the same
or
problem.
if he's going to take the kids riding, he can just take one at a time. It's not practical.
No.
But by the way, if any of you would want when I say a clean Corvette,
Oh, it's
got
nice.
12,200 miles on it, and it's a 2005.
What's the serial number on it? Wasn't it like one of the
Well,
one or number 2?
it was in the museum in 2005. That's when all the new modern, the rooftop press button and all the late model things were placed into it to compete with the other cars that were out there. And this one was in the museum floor. It's got a sticker that it
was a display.
display for you know, I guess a few days, a few weeks, or whatever. You know, just
Was that the
a short
museum
period.
that had the sinkhole?
The Corvette Museum, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen footage of that, look on YouTube. They have a sinkhole in a Corvette museum that just swallowed up all the cars. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. But mine, it's out the showroom.
Yeah.
And I'll price it right for you. So if you're interested in a beautiful silver rag top, I mean, it's a convertible too. That gives it
it's
an
a beautiful
extra
car.
appeal.
Absolutely beautiful car. And Kip, you know, if Bobby still has it when, you know, your kids are grown and out of the house, then see him again
picking
for
at
it.
him,
You know. But no, St. Landry Homestead in Opelousas and in Eunice and Port Barre. All your banking needs, personal banking, business banking, e-banking, you know, the mobile phones and the iPads and all that stuff. Do all your banking with them. You see them for student loan. Student checking accounts. That's one of the things they're specializing in. And they are located online at stlandryhomestead.com.
Okay. We have a number of things I want to pass on real quick. And the first one is I got my annual call from Ms. Fawn Futrell, Port Barre lady, that I started bringing this ad to the public, to particularly the people around the Port Barre area. It's the Easter morning services that takes place each year at 7 a.m. at the Tesh Park. That's in Port Barre, right to the rear of the big Bork's grocery store. And it's an annual event. Bring your chair to sit and relax. And in the event of rain, it'll be held in Joe Russo's church on Highway 190. I always just describe it as sort of across from King's Truck Stop. So in case it would rain, the service takes place, but it moves over from Port Barre to the 190 church there that Joe Russo, who everybody knows in the Port Barre area, he ran a Ports House for years.
Yes, Russo's Ports
And
House.
I remember when he started his own church in a little house across from the old Bork's grocery store in Port Barre. And grew and grew and grew, and now he's in a beautiful new facility on Highway 190 there. And let's see what else I have that maybe I would need to.
Well, you got a couple of pictures of some places you visited.
Let's start with the brisket basket. I think that
Okay.
was one of the first pictures that I took last week. Went and had lunch there on Saturday, and I guess that was with Joe Simeon must have been with me, but I didn't take pictures of us. I took some pictures of some of the employees and Wilbert Kennison, who has been working on this project for quite some time.
There's Wilbert here.
The food is delicious. He's retired from the Opelousas Fire Department. Just, you see that smile, he lives with that smile, has always. And this is the family members who all are there to help serve you and cook up some good brisket. I ate a brisket sandwich, and I'll tell you what, it was delicious. He's got a picture here of one of our heroes,
Chef Joe Durio.
Chef Joe Durio, who was actually given an honor in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol. And yes, very renowned, well-known, renowned chef from Opelousas.
Very good, very good.
And what would some of the next pictures be there?
Well, it looks like you got a picture.
How about the Palace Cafe?
The Palace. Well, okay.
You want to show?
Sure,
okay,
I got that up.
You got it
Who's
up
that?
already.
That's DT.
And that's Chief D.T. Thompson, Chief of Police in Opelousas. What he was doing at this time here, he was blocking the traffic at the intersections. He was. They were having a march from the St. Leonard Parish School Board to Opelousas High School gym.
Okay.
And they had a health fair there, and he was. There was a lot of them that actually chose to walk. Beautiful green T-shirts. They all well, you know, you could tell who was in the walking parade there, I guess you could call it. And I was leaving my house, and I took that right near my house. They passed right in front of my house. So anyhow, the chief was on the job.
On the job, and then you went to the Palace.
Went to the Palace. And met up with a number of people, and I'm going to take this to be Danny Russell and his wife Marissa, and Talon would be the daughter, the young daughter on the left. Don't know.
Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. His wife is Michelle, and Marissa is on the left, and Talon is the young man.
Okay. Okay. I didn't see the young boy. Man,
He doesn't take up as much of the picture as the others.
Yeah, as the others. Okay, good. I'm glad you caught that, because this be the first time they watched the program. Not sure where they're from, but I think they're in our area. And what was the next one?
Next one, you got another family. Well, a couple right here. I think she's involved in the brisket basket also.
That's correct. That is correct. And I have her name somewheres here. Just give me a second here. Oh, I thought I did. The brisket basket. Yeah. Merdine, Zachary, and Shelton Guillory. And then you're gonna, in that picture we showed just now, Merdine was in that picture with the family, with the Kennison group. Okay, right. And
then from there, it looks like you went to my neck of the woods in Leonville, or in Paconier.
Yep.
The Hadley Castile Paconier Memorial Highway. That's the one you have to travel down to get there.
That's right. And this is the lovely home site and home of retired Judge Joe Lahey and his beautiful wife, Miss Nettie.
She's a sweetie.
And their family. And I took some views that shows the beautiful oak trees. That this was an elementary school that he purchased and converted it into a beautiful home and home site.
That's where my grandfather went to school. Up until 5th grade, before he had to, of course, quit to support his family.
Go to work. And
go to work.
Earn that keep. And the flowers are all beautiful, the azaleas,
They've done so much with that old school. When I was growing up, that school was just it was an old abandoned building, and it's just a beautiful building, and Judge Lahey has really done so much with it. Absolutely gorgeous estate there.
And okay, and then what's our next set of pictures we're going to talk about?
You go straight from there into the boxing event, but you have a couple of pictures on that, so I think what we ought to do is take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll talk about the boxing event.
Right.
Yep, right on time.
1 minute, and we'll be right back with you. Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick. Forgot to introduce you the first time, Matt LeBlanc here. He's the engineer, he's the speaker, he's the ad announcer.
Do it all.
And does it all. In fact, you forgot to show, you took some pictures of...
Bobby always tells you can't see off to the side over here, and there's a whole little space station set up with all the controls and everything. You can't see that on TV. So last week after the program, I snuck around and took a quick little picture from behind, and this is what it looks like. If you see over there on the right hand of your screen, that's all the controls, and then the lights in front, and it just has a a whole lot of stuff you just don't see on TV. There's another shot of it, another shot of my little control station from the back there. But that's what goes on behind the scenes.
Yep. And that goes on behind the scene of all the television programs you watch on TV. They have all kind of equipment that you don't see.
Yeah.
You only see the good-looking girls all the time. It's always girls.
That's okay.
And now they got, on this program, you got to look at two old ugly guys. But anyhow, we hold our own. Somewhere along the way, I lost a couple of pictures that I'm sure I took. And M.J. Schwarzenberg and his wife, they were also at the Palace Cafe. And of course, he has a security system he purchased from Ivan Bergon, locksmith, and also one of Vincent Wiltz. And he's from Krotz Springs, and he developed the North Shore of 3 Mile Lake.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Very successful water cooling tower business. There were 3 brothers, and they each had their own company and operated over in Baton Rouge. And I know Miss Juanita Wiltz, who lost her husband Dan in an airplane crash.
Yes.
She and her children, actually the young boys seem to be bringing the business to another level. So that's good news. And Vincent is really gotten into a new invention of his that I'm not going to try to even start explaining, but it has something to do with the cooling of water with a lot less size of towers, and it's a new concept, I guess would be the best way to quickly describe it. And he's got some investors, and they're moving right along. And he also mentioned that he watches the program, the Bobby Dupre Show, on his TV at home. I said, really? I said, you're not watching it on cable? Oh, no. He says, I bought a little device, and I have the antenna taped with gray tape on the window, and I watch it on the big screen and on I said, really? And he's supposed to let me know it's an inexpensive little port. And you said that actually a lot of people could be watching it if they knew how. They have to go to UHF.
Well, you just go to channel 50.2. You don't need to know if it's UHF or VHF.
But you can't do that on
a regular TV. Yeah, all you got to do is go to channel 50.2, and if you've got an antenna, you should pick it up. No problem.
But if you have DirecTV as an example,
well, DirecTV,
you can't get 50.
It doesn't come in on DirecTV per se. No. But most people know that you can watch regular TV and DirecTV on most of your TVs. You just switch your input to regular TV and switch it back to DirecTV. So that it's a pretty known thing out there, you know. But a lot of people just have no antenna.
And
they have just DirecTV.
50.2 has strong output.
Yes.
Gets all of St. Landry Parish and Acadiana all the way to the Gulf, you were telling me.
Yeah, it's a full power TV station.
Yeah, full power TV station. Kind of like the big boys in town.
Just like the big boys in town.
Channel 10. Really, KADN.
Just like them.
No kidding. Well, so more people could watch, and it won't cost anything.
That's right.
It'll be free, and then you'll be able to watch our other programming, not just the Bobby Dupre Show.
That's right.
But we have Swamp and Roll, and we've got the What's Cooking with
Grilling with the Guru, Rendezvous de Cajun, Jump Off Show, a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. So be a good little additional viewing that you could watch on your regular 50.2 channel. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. You want to mention a
let's
couple
talk
of our
about some of our sponsors. Let's talk about Carl's Thrifty Way. Carl's Thrifty Way on South Union in Opelousas, of course. Thrifty Way Pharmacy, so you can get all your prescriptions filled there. But as soon as you walk into Carl's Thrifty Way, the first thing you see is an absolutely wonderful gift shop, and I'll show you a couple of pictures right here. We've got, let's see if I can make that work. There we go. There's some pictures from some of their merchandise in Carl's Thrifty Way. They've got some
good
clothes, and got all kinds of home decor, candles.
It's got a big
really nice
arrangement
stuff.
of candles.
Yeah, go to their Facebook. Carl's Thrifty Way has a Facebook page, and you can check out their inventory on their Facebook page. Great place for gift shopping, holiday gift shopping.
And all your medical.
And birthdays, and of course all your medical, pharmaceutical needs. So go see them over at Carl's Thrifty Way. And let's talk about Targill Butcher Supplies, Cutlery and Kitchen Supplies. Located on the west side of Opelousas on Wartell Avenue. The actual Targill building, if you want to go there, you can purchase, cutlery, baking supplies, kitchen supplies. It's real nice chef quality kitchenary utensils. Also, you can visit them online at www.targill.com. But Targill, their main claim to fame is all the seasoning that they package and produce right there in the facility in Opelousas. It's a pretty impressive operation.
You as an individual or you as an owner, you can be a small business owner, and use it as, instead of a business card, use that temporarily as your business card. And it's something that everybody uses, so they'd be glad to get it.
That is correct.
And you get that done up at a very reasonable price at Targill.
That is correct. And earlier we were talking about, let me pull this back up right here. We were talking about your Corvette sat in the Corvette Museum. And if people hadn't seen, there was a pretty amazing video clip right here. I'm going to show it to you. This is the Corvette Museum, and there's a sinkhole underneath these cars. And your car was right there. Watch this. Look at that.
Look at that.
The floor just opens up, and this sinkhole swallows those Corvettes.
You hear a lot of that occurring in Florida,
Yep.
where they've reclaimed a lot of this land. And there's a lake under that land that these people don't realize what took place there. But
we're getting a lot of those in Louisiana right now.
And right there, one between Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
That's a big one.
Man, that's a serious thing. In fact, there's another lawsuit that they got paid, but it looks like maybe they feel that they didn't get enough payment. When they go to buy another home somewhere else, they find out that what they had paid for their camp and home had gone up in value, and I guess they somewhere between value and what they paid, they settled, and now they're looking for more money. Anyhow,
that's a scary
that's what
thing.
Little young people like Megan Andre Dupre, my little daughter, is studying law at Tulane.
They're going to be needed.
That's what they look for. They look for cases to either be the plaintiff attorney or the defense attorney.
Sure thing. Now, when we left the last segment, we were talking about some of your pictures, and you were at the boxing event. Do you want to bring that up now?
Let's do that, please.
All right. You're working me hard today. Let's see. Okay, we got a couple of pictures right here from, what was this, the Golden Gloves?
Golden Gloves, right. These are a couple of boys that had bruised up. The young boy on the left, he has a little bloody nose there. Good little fight. These kids all do the very best they can. I mean, and there's the photographer who, a very nice guy. I have a card of his somewheres here. Well, you know how it is. It's hard to find them when you need them. But I have one somewheres. We'll have to show it a little bit later.
Right here.
And yes, that's the doctors right there.
Oh, okay.
That's Dr. Edgar Pomerol on the left, and Dr. Karen Curry on the right. And I think that's husband and wife.
Okay.
And all of these people donated that time. All the doctors. You realize what it would cost?
Oh, sure.
To have
but it's a good cause. It's a really good cause.
That's right. My neighbor at 3 Mile Lake, Dr. Hernandez, Kerry Hernandez, gave his time last year. This year he was out and was not able to commit to it. But when I saw him Sunday or Monday, I gave him the report, and he was glad that doctors came in and took good care of everybody.
And we got Bo Williford right here.
Right, and Jesse Fletcher Jr. And the young Jesse Fletcher III is the little boxer who is really setting the world on fire, boxing. And he had a walkover. He didn't have to fight any fights. And he's also on the wrestling team at his high school. and he wrestled and won a state championship wrestling on Sunday.
Wow.
So kind of versatile.
Yeah.
And such a nice young kid and a nice family. They're really giving him a lot of support, and the community is giving him a lot of
Good.
support because he's just a very normal kid. It's not going to his head. He's just a nice guy. And Teddy Sawyer with the Starcraft referee from England. I think that's him on the right. And Bill Highsmith is on the left. He's from North Carolina, and both of those are Bo's good friends. And Reginald Charles from New Iberia Club,
Yeah.
with the blue T-shirt I have here, and it has American flag in the background. So that's our guy, Reginald Charles. Good morning. Look at that smile he's got.
Yeah.
He's got
Very
that
nice
ivory smile. And these are our ice company from Washington delivering ice at the Citgo station. And the next picture is a young lady in the back of the counter, and she's there. She pulls that Sunday shift because after Mass, I go by and I get me a fried egg sandwich and a milk and a coffee. And she's always there.
Have it ready for you.
Oh, yes. And we're getting back to the fight scene, the boxing scene, Golden Gloves state tournament. And this is Guy Cusio and his beautiful wife, Miss Kay. The Guy is really a character. And I have something here. I've got the names. Just gonna have to find them. Hold tight there, everybody.
Back to us right there.
I saw that. Where?
Is that that's at the boxing event, right?
Oh yeah,
one of
that's at the
tables.
boxing event. The young girl is a new wife. She's from Naples, Italy.
Oh.
And that's Guy Cusio III.
Okay.
That's the son. That's Kay, her daughter-in-law. They just recently got married, and her husband, Kay's son, Guy Cusio III. And
But
good family.
and I see down at the bottom, looks like they're sitting at Ron Guidry's table. Huh?
That's what it says. Now that could be Ron Guidry.
It could be a different Ron Guidry.
Yeah, because there's a Ron Guidry that sat at that table, and he's a former senior boxing champion.
Well, maybe it's a different Ron Guidry.
Yes.
Both sports related.
But both sports related.
And here's some fighters.
Fighters being recognized and getting their little trophy after the event was kind of finished up. And that's Guy Cusio. He is quite a character. He's always got his little hat on and a fancy little suit. Got that, I forgot what, he gave his wife the credit. I was picking at him about the little suit, because he wears a small suit. He's not a big man, but boy, he's got a lot of BS with him. He can keep you. He can keep you alive in there. And those back up. The pictures right here is the Opelousas group. Everyone got a trophy. There were no one at their weights to fight them, but so they were declared the champions. And actually, they had brought 5. There's one of them that wasn't there, had to go home and miss the picture taken here. But fine young people. And Coach Mark Simeon is standing on the floor in the black with the white shoulder. Is Darrell Wheeler.
Right.
And Coach Lestraps is all the way on the right. And those guys really do a wonderful job. They've moved those kids up real fast. They have a good training program.
Good.
And let's go, you'll see, and this is a world champion right here. And again, that's one of those pieces of paper where it's, oh boy.
It's okay.
Anyhow,
we'll show him.
Yeah, world champion. And
you got these guys.
And then that's
just some scenery from
Gene Bijou on the right, and then that's Ron Guidry in the middle with the blue shirt and the white beard, and all the way in the left, kind of with a greenish looking shirt, that's Ron's first cousin. They're first cousins,
Okay.
and that's Leonard
Well,
Guidry.
that's sure not the Ron Guidry I was thinking of.
No, no, not that.
I can tell by looking at him.
Now, whether that was him or not, I don't know. And of course, this is Deidre on
There's
the left, and
Deidre.
her husband Victor. And I missed the baby. She had brought the baby for a while, and then it was a little bit long event. So anyhow, they seem happy and doing well. And of course, she still works with the Raging Cajun team twice a week. And the next picture we're going to have here is the Backstreet Boxing Club.
Church Point, huh?
No,
Rain.
Well, Karen Crow area,
Okay.
I think. Shelton LeBlanc.
Oh, that's Shelton's. Yeah.
Shelton's team.
That's
and, they won overall most champions.
He's got a
for
bunch
the
of kids
tournament.
with him.
Oh,
I see him working out every day.
He does a great job.
does,
Shelton,
and Shelton's a good guy.
I know I tell you that when I see you, but I tell everybody else that too. And I'm telling the world, because this show is shown around the world. And you certainly deserve the praise that I give you from time to time, and any other recognition you get. You and your assistant coaches too.
Yeah.
I want to give it, and the young boxers. You're giving them an opportunity to get away from the street area and be in a good, safe environment, and you're making a man and a woman out of young kids. And that says a lot.
A little background on Shelton. If I'm not mistaken, Shelton fought Tyson, didn't he? That's what I heard.
One of them fought Tyson in the amateurs.
I thought he had fought him in the pros.
Well, he went to the pros.
Yeah, I know Shelton fought in the pros.
A few fights, yeah. He didn't stay too long. I think he's a homegrown. He came right back and started training youngsters. But
Good for him.
He was on the team that when I was heavily involved, I was the cheerleader and fundraiser for the team. And Mr. John Stute was the coach. And
Old John
I got a
Stutes.
picture to prove that. We won the National Golden Gloves.
Well, John was something
Our
else.
team. I say we.
Yeah.
Well, I was we.
Well,
I mean,
you
I was
part of
part
it.
of it.
You were
I was
part of
part
it.
of it, and a happy part of it.
A couple of more scenery shots right here from the
I
actual
took the
event.
Opelousas group. Show them. We, look, had a good
back to the group
good
there.
plate of
Took them to
food.
Prejean's?
Prejean's, right on the way home.
Can tell by those
stopped in-
tablecloths.
Yep. And that's a picture of us. And like I said, I'm so proud of these youngsters and all the kids that participate in these programs. It doesn't have to be boxing. It can be soccer. It can be, basket weaving. If you're a group and you're a group that's well intended,
That's right.
get with it.
And I think that's all of our boxing pictures. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to be back in 1 minute.
Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick, Mr. Matt LeBlanc. And we want to get a couple of our good sponsors in there that make all of this available at no charge to you.
Let's talk about Piggly Wiggly, our good friend Joey Quibido and Kevin over at Piggly Wiggly. Kevin Doucette, that's right, over at Piggly Wiggly in Opelousas and Simsport. You can visit them online at gotothepig.com. That's gotothepig.com. It's pretty easy to remember. A lot of specials. They got Easter specials, of course, going on right now.
Big
Yeah.
cooking goes on for Easter. People eat well.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them have been on some strict diets, and I spoke to one of my good friends today, and he hadn't had a drink since 2 weeks before Lent started. So
good for him.
And he's lost weight, and he does a lot of walking along Highway 182. I won't name him, but
That's good.
anyhow, it does show he's lost several pounds, and he walks to Sunset and back to his house. Pretty good little little exercise program he's got.
At Piggly Wiggly, of course, Easter Sunday, of course, is a big barbecue day for a lot of people. So go see them at Piggly Wiggly. Right now, you can get bone-in sirloin pork roast, 98 cents a pound. Fresh chicken leg quarters, that's a big thing. Feed a lot of people with chicken leg quarters. 10-pound bag for $4.88. You can't beat that,
and
man.
good.
Matter of fact, I think I'm going tomorrow and pick up a whole bunch of those because I got 5 people in my family. That's easy to feed them chicken leg quarters. You throw that on the pit and you
And
good
it's
with
easy
that.
to cook.
And it's easy to cook. Amanda smoked sausage, $7.88 for a 3-pound package. That's a lot of sausage. So go see them over there. They got a whole bunch of specials. Way too many for me to tell you about. GoToThePig.com. You can look them up right there. Go visit them at the 2 locations in Opelousas and 1 in Simsport. Also, we're going to talk about our good friend Jason Hugay over at the Steamboat Warehouse. Steamboat Warehouse, if you haven't been, it is definitely a place to visit. It is a beautiful, what you call that, the ambiance.
Ambiance.
They got the ambiance there. The menu is absolutely incredible. And just being on the grounds of this place, walking outside, and the history there, it's just an absolutely gorgeous restaurant. And the food is out of this world.
Right.
His recipes,
He's
Jason's recipes, are
award-winning
award-winning chef. Out of this world
Owner
food.
chef, I might add.
That's right.
So he cares about what goes on there. That is his restaurant.
That's right. So go see him over at the Steamboat Warehouse. Check out their website. He's got a really nice website with a lot of little video clips and everything on there. Go to it's steamboatwarehouse.com. Steamboatwarehouse.com.
Okay, let's talk about, mention a few deaths that occurred. Miss Romanelle Ledoux, she was 74 years old. Yeah, I knew she was a little bit younger, but not that much younger than the old boy here. And she had her own restaurant for 36 years, Roma's Place. That was on the
Roma.
East Vine Street.
Yeah,
Yep,
well, I used to go late at night when I was younger and get a Roma burger.
She stayed open late, and she sat in that big chair back there on that, and would take care of everything from that chair.
She sure did. She sure did.
Beautiful.
She was legendary.
Yep, you bet. And Miller Chavis, who was, I saw his age in here, 64, young man, young mere child compared to me. And Miller, of course, was well known in the community, a real good athlete at Opelousas High School, part of a track team, some running events, relays with Randy McCormick, Dr. Blanchard, and I can't think of the other party, but I think Miller Chavis was one of those. Our sympathies to his family. And Butch Paradine is Charles Butch H. Paradine Jr., but everybody knew him as Butch. Worked for many years as a tech at Opelousas, X-ray tech at Opelousas General Hospital. In the last number of years, he's been a fishing guide. His love was fishing, so he took it and became a guide over at Toledo Bend. So he lived in Florin, which is part of that complex out there known as Toledo Bend, and was a fishing guide. And there's a young lady that I didn't know, but when I was reading the obituary, Loretta Ann Pete, she was a Pete before marriage to Glod, G-L-O-D, and her husband was Walter Anthony. Glod. She was 81 years old, and what caught my attention is that she was the daughter of the late Moise Pete and Arlene Miller Pete, both of Prairie Ronde, Louisiana. And when you say Prairie Ronde, I always said I was born and raised my early childhood in Plaisance, but some of the Prairie Ronde people said, well, y'all were really in Prairie Ronde. Well, I said, I always said Plaisance, and I'm sticking by
But you got to say it right. You got to say Prairie Ronde.
Prairie Ronde.
That's how Prairie Ronde.
That's right. And she moved as a youngster, moved into Evangeline Parish and graduated from Chaitanya High School and went on, had a very successful career, both working for others and also her own interior decorating. Our deepest sympathies. And I received a call from a Jimmy Ince, I-N-C-E, who was a graduate of Opelousas Senior High School in 1963. He was looking for a friend of his and was told that if anybody would know it would be Bobby Dupre. So he called me, got my cell number, called me, and we had a long conversation. In fact, after we hung up, I checked my cell phone, it was 35 minutes.
Wow.
So when you get a call from him, you better have some minutes on your phone, and you better be in a place where you can sit down and relax. He wants to know everything about what's going on in Opelousas. He's living in Toronto,
Toronto?
Not Toronto. He's living in Canada.
Well.
Yes, he's living in Canada. Where's that sheet of paper? What? I have a note. I have a note, but just take it. Here it is, right
he's
here.
in Canada. That's what's important.
Yep. He lives, his mailing address is 110 the Esplanade, Suite 106, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, it is Toronto.
Yep. And very nice young man. He's looking for Jesse Barnett. And I called Jesse's cousin, probably first cousin, Judge Jim Doherty. And he gave me a cell number, but it's not a workable number. I think he lives somewheres around by Catawba, by the little boy there.
Badass?
Badass. I think he lives somewheres in that area there. And Jim is supposedly coming, Jimmy Ince is supposedly coming down, and we'll check it out. And if anybody knows where or can get a hold of Jesse and give me his number, I'll pass that on to Jimmy Ince, and their friendship can start up again. Then he started talking about his friend who had recently died, Trampoline Legacy. And he was speaking, of course, of Mr. Hennessy, and his first name was Jeff Hennessy. He was a PhD doctor of education over at SLI. Well,
that's right.
By then it was USL.
Yeah.
And this is a picture. You have a picture
it's up there right now
of a trampoline legend. Hennessy dies. And don't have a lot of time to go into the depth of it, but I'm going to have to call and make sure that Jimmy Ince looks it up on the Daily Advertiser. No,
it's the Daily Advertiser. Local section of Daily Advertiser.
Local section 3A. And very interesting article, and a beautiful blonde in that picture. Where she was Miss America.
Was she?
Yes, sir. That's what it says somewhere in here. I'm pretty sure.
Look at that.
You can look at it and tell she was
beautiful.
She definitely needed to be a candidate, but she won the contest. How about that?
Look at that.
And he meaning Jeff Hennessy, is credited with all the events that take place, a reference to trampolines, contests and all. He gets the credit for it. I mean, he was that far ahead of the turn, and in fact, he worked hard, and it is now part of the Olympics. It's one of the events in the Olympics. So we had right here, and what's his name? Jimmy Ince. He has a good friend of his that he stays in close contact with, and that's Dr. Gerald George. And he's a UL professor here. Okay. And so Dr. George, if anybody can tell you about this, Jimmy Ince said for me to be sure to tell you hello.
Well, there you go.
So,
message delivered.
Message delivered. Very interesting. I have a good life. Y'all can see that. I do what I like to do, and that's talk to people. And talk to you all. Visit with you at your home. We have a couple more minutes. Let's go some more pictures.
Sure. You visited with
the Daily World lady
delivering?
for Miss Melba Chotin. Delivered the Daily Worlds for over 30 years. Now she's still delivering. Well, her son is, but she's helping him.
There's her son.
There's the son, Travis, but we call him Bubba. And they have been delivering the morning advert for I don't know how many years, ever since it started being delivered by the late Mr. Wilfred Cortez, former mayor of Opelousas. Had several trucks that he went through, delivered them, picked them up in Baton Rouge and delivered them throughout Acadiana. So he can be credited with bringing the Morning Advocate to Acadiana. How about that?
There you go. Well, before we get into the other pictures, I tell you what, let's go ahead, because you got a few pictures on this event that you attended, so I don't want to break them in half. So let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back
and we'll have a few minutes
about those.
Yep.
All right. So we'll be back in 1 minute.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and we've got to really get going real fast, because we just like the football teams or the NASCAR drivers, we've got to speed it up.
It's 4th down and 1 to go.
Yep. And we have several more interesting pictures, and we've got a couple of more of our good sponsors.
That's right. Before we get into our pictures, let's talk about
LHC Group.
That's right, Louisiana Healthcare Group. Keith and Ginger Meyer started this group over a cup of coffee in Palmetto,
where the
That's right.
home of also the home of
Andrew Guitros.
Andrew Guitros. That's correct.
But LHC Group takes care of all healthcare needs in this community and in several other communities across the country. They provide nursing, they provide end-of-life palliative care. Louisiana Hospice and Palliative Care is one of theirs that just opened up on Heather Drive right next to the health club right next door, which is also LHC Group. Just a great company, and their motto is it's all about helping people. If you'd like to learn more about them, visit them online at lhcgroup.com. I think I have that web address right, or it's lhc.com. I think it's lhcgroup.com. And we're going to talk about Dixie Storage, main office right there in Port Barre, the McCormick family. Of course, it's run by Joey Doucette now.
In Opelousas,
right.
And Port Barre, right.
Port Barre, Opelousas, and Washington.
And
Don't forget
Washington.
They got a location in Washington, too.
Big location there.
Any kind of storage you need, climate controlled, not climate controlled, large, big, small, rail spur access, very well secured. This is state-of-the-art security, absolute state-of-the-art security. And it's huge. It's just, you're not gonna have a problem storing your stuff there. Very well lit at night. Commercial storage as well as residential storage. So visit them online, look them up online, dixiestorage.com, and their sister company, A Plus Glass.
Okay, we've got some pictures that we want to go through and talk a little bit real quick about them.
There you go. I'm going to kind of scroll through these and let you talk about it.
That was held, this is an event that was held, it's an annual event. The pre-opening of Evangeline Downs racetrack.
See them working the track there.
And they're working the track. They brought in over 2,000 pounds or cubic yards. Yards of sand, and with 2% or less of clay in it. So fine. They really went out the way to do a good job. I complimented the group from Boyd Gaming that they promised us that last year. At the end of the meet, and as soon as the quarter horse meet was over in December, they got on the track, and everybody says so far it's really nice. On the right is Eddie Delahousse, a Hall of Fame jockey from right here in Acadiana, won a race for me on a horse that, well, we won't talk about that, and that's Vincent Pierre, state representative from the Lafayette area there.
And right here we got Dr. Clay Hammond, and that's got to be his son.
That is his son, Albert.
It looks just like him.
Putting in his application to med school, I guess LSU and others. I don't know how they do it, but he fine young fella. He's working with a large orthopedic group. Getting some on-hands training before he goes actually in the medical school.
There you go.
And of course, Dr. Hammett has done a big favor for Vicky's mama, Miss Marilyn Bordelon from Bordelonville. Saved her life. She's one of their heroes. They had a cold blue, and he was there, fortunately, and that's one of his favorite stories.
Well, that's good to hear.
And
we got Roy right here, talking to David.
That's correct. That's at the beautiful home of Stevie and Lori Dupre. So Stevie is originally from Opelousas. Roy, of course, they've all moved to the Lafayette area except Jim Lopez, their brother. But anyhow, we won't hold that against them. Stevie and Lori have a gorgeous facility, home there, and large acreage and everything else. And there's Stevie getting ready to introduce the guest speaker, Scott Angel. On the left is Chris John, former congressman. Now he's a lobbyist. And on the right is, I guess, kind of semi-retired Paul Hardy, who was a statewide elected Secretary of State, if my memory serves me right. Look at Stevie. Look at him right here. I mean, he is just wound up. You would think he would be the candidate. He would. I think he could.
Well, I don't know.
Same ground as the late Earl Long.
Oh,
Earl Long was a good stump speaker. But anyhow, in the next picture, we should be able to have a picture of, well, there's the
This one
priest.
right here,
That's,
Always have to have a priest.
he's an Angel, Father Angel. And he says that it's proof that there is a priest in the Angel family. And
There's Scott.
And there's Scott Angel. And he's a very good motivational speaker.
He sure is.
Look
I've
at
seen
him. I mean, he can keep you. He keeps you.
He's
you
funny
know,
too.
Yeah, that's what I was getting
He's
at.
funny.
You took the words out of my mouth. He mixes in some little bitty sentences that gets everybody
Yep.
kind of, you know.
Yeah, you're not.
Foolhardy,
You
you
won't
know.
get bored or not off during one of his speeches. I promise.
Very, very
I promise.
interesting. And of course, he's running for governor. And this was a meet and greet that was held at Stevie and Laurie's home. And I think there was some sponsors that you know, paid for the expenses.
Ah, you got
And
with
these-
Miss Jan Swift right there.
Jan Swift on the left. You know Miss Jan?
I know Miss Jan very well.
She's a candidate for state representative. I see on her card here.
I do
didn't
her
know that.
TV show for her.
Well, I'll be darned. And you know, we couldn't pinpoint, but I know where I met her. I met her at one of the functions that I guess she was promoting when Larry Leger had Love You on Veterinarian Road in that big subdivision he developed.
Right.
And I met her then in person.
Jan is the head of Upper Lafayette
Upper
Economic
Lafayette. Well,
Development.
that's what this was that day. And on the right, of course, is Carolyn Groner, and quite some real estate salesman. Carolyn hadn't been in it long, but she's already hitting the top marks. And fun event. A lot of people that I met that some of them I had met them, but a long time ago. Anyhow, on the left is one of the Huvalls. I think that's Mark Huval there. If it's not, it's David. And then there's David
There's
Lincoln,
David
the green
Lincoln.
shirt. Jim
Jim
Lopez,
Lopez.
and Richard LeBlanc with Prairie Contractors. And he was all smiles. They had just been declared the low bidder on one of the third phase of the Smooth Road Home.
Ah.
They got one of the bids in the first round, and they've gotten the low bidder on the third round. So very happy. They're moving right along with the first one. It's going to work in by the time that all the paperwork and everything is done. They should be ready to get on to this third section. I mean, the smooth ride, I rode on some of those roads. Well,
my road.
Your road got
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
And where, when I showed you Judge Lahey and Nettie's home, that was a gravel road. That's a beautiful,
that was my road. It's the
that
same
road.
Yep.
Y'all are uptown now.
Oh, yeah.
And
we're
this is
fancy.
Babs and myself, and
Babs.
that's a tusk, elephant tusk. And I think you're going to be able to see when the next picture.
Maybe not
This
here.
is Jackie and Charlie, and I made the introduction to that couple right there. And this is Gerald Melanson with the Melanson Funeral Homes, who off and on has been a sponsor of our program. We need you back, Gerald. And his friend there is Mr. Arsimon, and he's the pump man. I think it's Keith is maybe the first name.
There you go.
And this is something from Kelly to
pretty.
look at. This is
That's
a metal.
the first thing I thought of was Kelly
Was
when
Kelly.
I saw that.
Give her an idea of something that she could do. This is metal instead of wood, but I'm sure she could do that
I'm sure
also.
she could work with that. Yeah.
And this
Mr.
is
Jeremy.
Jeremy, and I just turn the next. I love that hairdo. He's got a beautiful head of hair for his age. I mean, he's not as old as me, but he's got a few years on him. But I think he's in. Somebody said he was in the rug business. You know,
Jeremy's Rugs.
Rugs. I think his father started the business, and now he operates it. But he told me some stories about working in the oil patch and everything else, and worked for Don Hogruder for a short period of time.
Okay.
Yep. Sold cars. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Well, I enjoyed visiting with him.
And
I
Jim?
can't think of this young man's name.
Oh, I know him.
You know him?
I do, and I'm like you now.
That's
He's just on
Jim,
the tip of my tongue.
and it's not somebody I've seen often.
I recognize him.
Okay,
though.
well, anyhow, we're sorry, but everybody, I know Jim and Babs will be watching it.
Yeah.
He'll call me
Jim
up
will
and
call
tell
you
me
after
who
the
it is.
program.
Yeah, after
Yeah.
and we'll show the picture again
That's
next
right.
week.
There you go.
We save all these pictures.
And that's all your pictures from that event. I do have one more picture that you want to bring up here, something concerning Dustin Cravens.
Yes. Dustin Cravens and his group have a fundraiser every year, and this year they're going to dedicate the funds raised to the Opelousas Senior High Band. They've been invited, but they have to pay their own expenses to go to a large event in Washington, D.C. And it's a great experience, but it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they're going to dedicate the money that they, remind me, I want to write a check and I want to get it to them too. This tells you where and how you can make your donation.
Go online.
Any amount.
You go online at if you can't read it, it's GoFundMe.com, My3EPC. That's where you go to make a donation, and that's to get the OHS band members out to DC. So that's
very good.
Yeah, very good cause. Why don't you go ahead and get that prayer book out? We're reaching the end of it right here.
And I've got some. I'll get back on. I'll finish the boxing and the pictures. No, I got the Evangeline down.
Sure did.
Yeah, didn't
Sure
get the
did.
boxing.
We got them all in.
Boxing 18th and boxing, professional boxing, Saturday the 11th at Cypress Bayou Casino. We're going to have a meeting of the Boxing Association at the same time. And we'll close with a request that you consider attending your church, and this is
and especially
you better
this week.
better go early for this one, because this is the largest attendance I think of any,
rightfully so.
any Sunday, and that's Easter Sunday. And also here's a thought: God of holiness, grant that I may always live for your glory and thus attain my salvation. Jesus gave up his life so that we could have salvation. Thank you for helping. Thank you for your assistance. And thank you for viewing.